also quickly say that as part of my introduction, that this is just the introductory part of it. This is just the beginning of this event. And there's no way we can capture the entire session that will take you, even if you're a novice, if you join this network, our sessions will take you from being a novice to getting your client and building your agency business. Now, when we say agency, what exactly are we referring to? Your ability to connect the buyer to the seller and take your own portion out of it. Now, a lot of people don't understand the power of agency. And I'm going to start by telling a story. Practice, and then I wanted to actually understand how to sell. So I started selling within the insurance agency industry. And one thing I'm very excited about is I was lucky. I had people that mentored me, that provided the knowledge I needed. One thing I noticed that from the second year thereabout of my sales life, of my sales career, every year, there's hardly any year that my commission was not twice my salary. So if I was earning 150,000 per month, that is about 1.8 million every year in terms of salary. My commission, the least I've had was 3.6 million, thereabout. So you can imagine as a young person, when you have those additional, but I didn't even understand the concept of sales, the ability to reach out and sell like I do now. And, you know, the sales has helped me from when I first relocated or migrated to this city to, you know, getting to meet people, to getting to break boundaries, to understanding the way a human mind works, to have the ability to launch my business. And let me quickly say this, that the number one skill you need, everybody in this room, one of the things that is common to us all is our desire to improve and to enhance our financial life. That is very key. That is very critical. The number one skill you need to do that is your ability to sell. There is nobody who would actually start up a business, who would do anything significant without that ability to sell. For most people who have founded companies and are not able to sell, what you find out is they end up bringing someone to partner with who has the ability to sell. Just mention any major organization or significant entrepreneur that you know. I like to make it as interactive. If you want me, so I can dimension any entrepreneur, that just mention them. Who are those people that you can remember, and what is their ability to sell? For example, somebody sent me a private chat and he said, Steve Jobs. That is one of the master salespeople that we have in this world. Every time you see that guy step on stage to launch a new iPhone, before even the launching of the new iPhone, there's so much anticipation built up that by the time they're launching iPhone into the market, you find, I was watching a particular video, they were launching iPhone, I can't even remember, and then the queue in one of the stores in New York was was like close to 3 or 4 blocks. It's like let's say that the queue would extend from Falomo Bridge all the way down to somewhere along the Third Mainland just to buy a phone. That is the power of ability to sell. So the question we should ask ourselves is, who is a salesperson? In fact, let me throw it to the house. Who do you think is a salesperson is? If you are in the house, I need you to just drop it. I want to see what your comment is. Who is a salesperson? Because most people, this is where the issue is. When we talk about a salesperson, most people have wrong idea about what a salesperson. You look at the guy that is hustling, who is trying to survive. You look at the guy that comes to pester you. So that is the perception we've had so far related to salespeople, and that is affecting. When we say who wants to be a salesperson, there is very few people that would say, look, Ab initio, I wanted to be a salesperson. Most people who are I'm still going to come there. Somebody's already said if salesperson is problem solver, that is correct. Most people never choose sales is because they did not get the job they wanted, and then sales become the fallback position. A salesperson that makes profit with their potential, fantastic. That is Olaronke saying a salesperson is someone that makes profit with their potential. Well, there's no wrong answer. So just keep bombarding me. Who is a salesperson? Because I need to also understand the definition of who a salesperson is before we go on. Because the challenge is this: most people never understand someone who convinces people to buy. Correct. A salesperson is someone who knows how to use the power of persuasion. That's Sarah Fashishi. Thank you. Then Timile in Sunday is saying someone who convinced people to buy. Victoria is saying that a salesperson sells value to the buyer. a salesperson sells value to the buyer. Now that's all those are correct. I just want us to they're correct position, but we need to first of all define who exactly a salesperson is. First of all, most people tend to think that a salesperson is a person that is selling with the viewpoint of getting money. That is not necessarily correct. If you are in this room today, I want you to understand that if you desire to pursue a career or to moonlight as a salesperson, first of all, as a salesperson, you are a solution provider. That is the intent. That is what you should have, which is why sometimes in some organization, they call salesperson, they sell their advisors because they're solution provider. Now, the question, what solution are you providing? I was taking a session on sales with a consultant group, and I said, God is the first salesperson, really, because he provides solution to our problems. One of the reasons why, and a lot of the people that we see on stage, apologies for those of us who might feel a bit disturbed by what I'm about to say, but please, until I finish, do not conclude. A lot of the pastors we have today are fantastic salespeople because they understand that there's a challenge. People have problems, whether spiritually, physically, or in those aspects of life, and then they are connecting the solution to those problems and solving the problem. That is the job of a salesperson. It's not just to sell a product, it's to actually sell a solution. What do I mean? A salesperson is connection between a client to the suitable product needed. Fantastic. That's Christian. A connection between, but first of all, if you're in this room, you need to understand, first of all, if you desire or if you are a salesperson, you are a solution provider. That is what it means, is that you might have a product, but if it does not solve your potential target's problem, you are not selling. So first of all, that is what a lot of salespeople miss. So before you start selling a product, before you agree to sell a product, you need to ask yourself, this product that I want to sell, what problem is it solving? And then when you understand the problem is solving, the next question you now ask yourself is, who would require this kind of solution? Who has this kind of problem? And then you connect both of them. Let me throw it to all of us in this room. Now, if you have a challenge, whether healthcare, whether whatever financially, whatever aspect, or let's use healthcare, and I come to you, maybe you've been having a headache for 15 years, and I come to you and I say, look, this drug that I'm holding, in fact, let me not use a drug, let me use a more ridiculous thing. I said, this pen that I'm holding, if you put it in your pocket for 2 weeks, the headache is going to disappear. And I show you examples of people who have put that pen in the pocket and then the headache has disappeared. Just do it for 2 weeks. And I tell you that this pen, this is ordinary pen. Normally, you won't buy this for more than 1,000 naira, thereabout. And you know that this can work to solve that chronic headache you've had over the last 15, 20 years or more. And I say, look, this is 50,000 naira. Let me ask you a funny question. Let's take a poll. How many of you will, you're sure, because I've shown you that this pen will provide a solution to a problem that's plagued you for about 15 years. How many of you will pay 50,000 for this pen? Can I just get your comment in the comment box? I want you to do. How many of you would, do I need, even if I call it 100,000, but I've shown you how, I've connected it to people who have used it, I've told you how it works, you have seen, what you call case studies of how it solved headache or migraine for the other people. If you're in the room, how many of you will pay 100,000 for this pen? Can you just let me, if you won't pay, just say, no, I won't, yes, I won't. I like to just be sure to know that you're feeling me. People will rush it ASAP. That is, that is, hold on, I think the stock went up. Olaronke said people will rush it ASAP. Yes. Victoria, I said I would not. Chizoba is saying I'll pay right away. Simone said I will pay. Yes, but I would, even if I have to borrow to get it, as long as it eases the pain in my. Now, for those of us that are saying that I will not pay, is because the problem is not that acute. If the headache is a significant challenge to you, even if I sell this pen for 200,000, you're going to buy. So, which is why, if it saved my life, why not? Correct it. So the question, the challenge with a lot of salespeople, they do not sit down to dimension the problem and then to say this is the solution to the problem. Anytime and every time you want to set out as a salesperson, you need to ask yourself, what problem am I solving? Stop saying, who will buy my product? I start asking, how can I solve this person's problem? When we begin to say that, to have that behind our mind, it changes the narration. It changes the way we view what we do. It helps you to understand that what you do is important. It helps you to understand that what you do is valid. It helps you to understand that what you do is what people require. You are not just trying to collect money, but you are helping people to be better, to live better, to be more than they are. You are adding value to their lives. You are giving them a better quality in terms of their life. And that is who a salesperson is. That is who a salesperson is. So please, I'd like you to note it down if you're in that room to say, look, I am a solution provider. I'm not just selling merchandise. You are a solution provider, no matter what you're selling. And that also would apply if you're in the room today and you're selling a product that is not solving a problem, you need to drop it. And if you cannot understand the problem that product is solving, you are not yet a salesperson. So you need to sit down, take a piece of paper. For some of us who are already selling, I like to just, if you're already, yeah, thank you, Lauren, for that. Yeah, solution provider. If you're in the room, you're already selling a product. I like you to write it down on the piece of paper that you have with you and say, what exactly, I will give you a few seconds to do that. What product, what problem am I providing solution to? You need first of all, and let's ask yourself, the product I'm selling today, is it providing the solution that I'm selling to those people? So you need to do that. If you've done that and you think that the product you're selling is providing solution to a problem, I like you to just say yes. Just post yes in that corner. Let me see you post yes. If you're sure 100%, do not say yes if you've not done that, if you've not dimensioned your product and say, this is the problem that this product is solving. I need you to just know. Oh, somebody just said no. Fantastic. We're going to take it from there. Yes, choose by saying yes. Do you mind sharing the product with us? If you don't mind, just share the product with us. I might just bring one or two people on this particular call. Say, look, tell us how your product is providing solution to a problem. Yes, choose by saying yes. Fantastic. Tell us how your product is providing solution. Yes. Now let's quickly come down to real estate. And I'd like to ask you a question, because a lot of people sell real estate because they want to make money. Yes, it's good to want to make money. And one of the reasons we do what we do is because we also want to make the numbers. But beyond that, we need to ask ourselves, and I'm going to throw it to the house, what problem is your real estate product, the product you are selling, solving? If you're in the house and you can answer that, I'd like you to just, what problem, for those of us who are already selling real estate, what problem are you solving? I like to know. I like to get your perspective. What problem do you think the product you are selling, what problem is it solving for the people that are buying it from you? Now, because this is why it's important to understand this, because it leads us to the next question. Part of what I wrote down, and this is the first time I'm going to do a kind of presentation without using a PowerPoint. Is first of all, we've identified, first of all, that as a salesperson, you're a solution provider, and you need to see yourself in that category. You are a doctor, just like a doctor, is a solution provider for the person that is ill. Do you know that as a healthcare practitioner, you do not advertise? Yet hospital is one of the most patronized platform or business all over the world, because they provide a valid solution that people need. But, that's one of the things. I can see that Olajide just posted our YouTube channel. If you are in the room, this is our YouTube channel. I like to just click and follow those channels, because like I said, what we're doing today is just an introductory part of it. We're going to try as much as possible to crap this place with value, but we're going to be having sessions on a regular basis that will take you through from introduction, who is a salesperson, how to identify problems, how to develop the solutions you want to sell, to how to prospect, how do you get your lead, where do you find, if you're selling even a high-ticket real estate product, where do you find those people that want to buy, how do you talk to them, how do you open it up with them, how do you follow up, how do you close, and how do you make your money? Those are conversations we're going to have in the course of our relationship. So I've gotten to that point. Please, if you're in this room and I'm sure once you're in this room, you're interested in real estate related sales. So you need to actually keep it every day. Remind yourself, I am a solution provider, and then start looking for those challenges within the product you sell, and I start providing the solution for them. So the second thing is to say the mind of the salesperson. Now, this is very key. I was having a conversation with our sales team, and I was saying that the most important element that is required for success for a salesperson is the mindset. Most people never quite understand that. Now, if you're in this room and I say join our sales team, and I tell you that your target is 1 billion, how many of you will resign immediately? You come to me and I tell you your target for the year is 1 billion. If you're in this room and you're confident that if I give you, say your target is 1 billion, you're going to smile and say, I can do it. I like to see you say, just post, what emoji should we use? So I can do it. Let's use fire emoji or a thumbs up emoji. If you think that you will run, I like you to just do okay, stage run. If you think that you are going to run, just give me a thumbs down like this. Now this is I will run. I know that a lot of people will run, but the most important thing on my way. Honora Adnat is saying I can. Augusta Ambono is saying look, more away, and that is actually the point. Now, I've said first of all, please, thank you for this. Chisoma is saying, well, it's not just that it will run like, but that's the point. But this is, let's take a look at it. There are people, I'm going to tell you the story of a salesperson I met. I had a conversation with this person. He's a sales agent. He doesn't build. He only connects. I figured out how to go about it at Timlane Sunday because I would also make good profit. Fantastic. Now, but this is where it is. The mindset of the salesperson is more important than whatever product you're selling. You can actually have the best of product and have the poorest of sales. And you can have the best of sale, even if your product is not the best of product. It depends on how you sell it. How many of us okay, let me use another example. One of the reasons that 419 or scammers or 419 guys succeed a lot of time is that a lot of them believe absolutely they would have gone to do maybe some rituals that tell them that once you talk to somebody, the person is going to buy your product, or the person is going to give you money, or the person is going to, whatever it is they tell them. So they leave that ritual room, and then what do? They get onto the street, and then once they get on the street, they start talking to people. One thing I've discovered is this, for some of them that I've interacted with, at the end of the day, it's not necessarily about the ritual that was done. It's about the confidence that they have to demand for whatever they're demanding for. Now, for you as a salesperson, the most important tool that you have is your mind. You need to understand that if your mind is absolutely set on achieving that result, you will achieve it. You need to convince yourself all the time that you can do it, that there is no target you have set for yourself as a salesperson that you cannot achieve. And how do you convince yourself? You see, we're a product of what we are allowed to germinate in our mind. This is not a motivational session, but I need to say this because it's important. Let me tell you, I remember that when I first started my sales career, and then you see, I wasn't coming from a sales background. And to be fair, if you knew me then, you understand that I wasn't a natural salesperson. Please, if you're getting value, I need you to just let me know so that I can, because that will encourage me. I want to feed off your energy to it. Just let me know I'm getting value. Just put it for me. Now I'm going back to the mindset, like I said. Now, when I started, I remember that the chairman who interviewed me said, "What do you want to earn?" And he said, I told him that, he said, your starting salary, because I was just joining the sales team, is 80,000 naira. And I've told this story over and over. And he told me, I said, "Is that going to be my salary?" He said, "Yes." And I said, "What is the next salary for somebody who is not just starting?" And he said, "It's 120. I said, "What is the target for that person?" Then that was 2004-5. They said about 50 million. And I said, "Give me that target." Now, I was just coming into Lagos. I didn't know anybody. I wasn't connected like some of us would be, but I was too ignorant. I was confidently ignorant, and I just had that cocky confidence that how would I not be able to sell 50 million worth of insurance product in the market of today? And I did a calculation. At that time, they said Lagos population was about, I think 15 to 20 million. And I said to myself, what is the size of my policy? My policy was around 50 to 100,000. So I said, okay, what if I said it's just 50,000? I want to focus on 50,000 naira worth of policy. And I asked myself, I need 1,000 people to hit my target. And then I looked up and I said, is it possible that God is not that wicked? How would I not get 1,000 out of 20 million people in Lagos, or out of 100 and something million Nigerians? Just 1,000. Whatever I was going to take, I was going to get it. Do you know that I got to that target and I wasn't the best of salespeople, but I was too ignorant to be afraid that I was never going to achieve it? Now, that's not the lesson in itself. The lesson itself was, by the time you achieved the first one, and then they now shifted your target to 75. By that time, I'd gotten into the system. I'd become a salesperson. I understood statistics. I understood that the bulk of sales that were ever going to fail. I began to understand that it was possible not to sell as a salesperson. I was able to do it. We're going to talk about that. By the time I started manipulating is that the fact that a lot of people were asked to leave, people are not achieving their target. Then the fear started that, would I achieve my goal? I struggled in that year. Now, what is it? What does it do to us? If you are in this room, I need you to write it down. Every time you have doubt about your ability to sell, every time you have doubt about your capacity to deliver on the target you have set for yourself, you are going to speak out loud and tell yourself, I can. You cannot overestimate the ability. Once you hear it, once you keep feeding your mind, once you keep thinking about your ability to achieve your target, you will achieve your target. You see, this is not church, but I like to take verses from that. You say, as a man thinketh, so he is. If you think that you're an excellent salesperson, if your dominant thought is the fact that you will end up actually getting it. How many of us in this room? Let me ask you a very funny question. Okay, I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to use one last story to buttress the point that the mind is the most important tool you have as a salesperson. And I'm still going to expand beyond just telling yourself that you can. I had somebody I was reporting to who could not speak English very well. Do you know this guy was the best of the salesperson because he was never concerned about his ability to speak grammar, but he was always very confident, was always very ebullient, he was always on the road. And he tells people that I will sell no matter what it's going to take. And he was selling. Last thing on the power of the mind. That by the way, I train as a medical personnel. I'm a medical doctor. I train as a doctor. So let me use a medical experience. We have a case called pseudosciasis. Pseudo means false, sciasis means pregnancy, false pregnancy. Now, how does it work? Now, usually it applies to those who have been termed infertile. They have not been able to give birth after a certain period of time, and then because pseudosciasis, not science, pseudosciasis. Sciasis is CYESIS, thereabout. Pseudosciasis. Now, do you know that woman will start having, the tummy will start growing, menstrual flow will stop. Every symptoms that is like pregnancy will start manifesting. And then the only thing that would prove that situation wrong is when they do a pregnancy test. It's a documented medical condition. You can see how powerful your mind is. Your mind is the factory that can produce whatever it is that is required. Please, if you're getting value, I need you to let me know. Just post that I'm getting value. I want the house to be very active. I need you to just also, for those of us who are there, go post it there that if you are not in this room, you are missing out, because people will learn, people will change. If one thing you can learn today is to actually condition your mind to say, I can do it, then you have actually gotten the full benefit of today. Because the ability of the mind to create, what happens is once you build the confidence, what happens to you is that you begin to attract, I don't know how you do it, but you begin to attract those that will buy those products from you, because your mind is open to talk, your mind is open to plan, inspiration comes to you, you do not look at the problem. And this is the issue. As a salesperson, you will need that kind of mindset. I won't deceive you. One of the challenge of sales is because people internalize the concept of no. Now, you need your mind to be active, to be confident if you're going to overcome rejection. This is what I mean. If you go, thank you so much for that. Thank you, Victoria, for saying I'm getting value. If you're getting value, I'd like you to just let me know. It will help me, to encourage me. Let me say this. Now, if you know that, if for those of us that are familiar with Facebook ad, when you run an ad and you're paying for it, they tell you there's something called conversion rate. That means that for every 1,000 people that see your ad, you would only be able to get maybe 1% or 0.5% to click through to provide the details so that you can call them. What it means is that if 1% is the conversion rate, it means that for every 100 people that view you, only one of them would actually click the link to respond to your ad. Now, if your mind is not conditioned for success, when you receive no number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, by the time you get to 30, 40, 20, I can guarantee you, you're already out of the game. But if you know absolutely, if you're confident that you can do it and you will do it, and you have told yourself, you have talked yourself into that state, do you know that you will take the no's in stride and you will move from no to no until you get your yes? And then when you get your yes, that one yes will change the whole story. And it has happened over and over and over and again. So the most important thing you need is your confidence. You know, I've seen, you know, I study people because I'm a salesperson. When a salesperson calls me, I study how they call me. When your mind is not conditioned rightly, when you pick up your phone to talk to anybody, people know. You communicate your fear, you communicate your anxiety, and people take that communication and then interpret it and say, maybe you are not trustworthy, maybe you are not sure, and then they let it go. Let me use this example. How many of us are in this room? If you enter a doctor's consulting room and the doctor is stammering and behaving like he's afraid or does not, okay, let me use even his career example. You enter the consulting room, my consulting room, and I take your case note, and then I tell you how can I help you? What is the issue? What can I do for you? And I'm shaky, I'm not talking confidently, and then I'm saying, you know, I say, okay, maybe this no well, you know, and you can perceive that I'm not sure. And at the end of the day, I say, okay, well, let me just write this drug for you. And I ask you, would it work? And I said, well, we will try. Maybe. How many of you will use that drug? If you're going to use that drug, just say, I will. I need you to post it there that I will. Now, how many of you will use that drug? I can guarantee of the people here, not one will use that drug, because you will be afraid. Said never. Emmanuel said never. You'll be afraid. The challenge with a lot of salespeople, you know, I said we're a solution provider. When you don't get into that room, when you go get on that call with the confidence you need, this solution, the people that need your solution will not take your drug. They will not take your solution. They will reject your solution, just like you're rejecting the doctor. And that is the problem with a lot of us. We prescribe pill and we're not certain, we're not 100% confident about the power of the pill we're presenting, no matter the product you're selling, to deliver on the promise. So one of the things you need is that confidence. Two, you know, I started by saying, for those who were at the beginning, I said you need to actually understand that you're a solution provider, and then you need to have the confidence and the frame of mind. Now, are you going to be afraid once in a while? Yes, you will. Are you going to, when you're about to pick up the phone, are you going to have palpitations sometimes? You know, your heart will beat fast. Yes, it will. But even when your heart is beating, you tell yourself clearly that I can do this, I will do this. Let it, once you feel afraid, step back and tell yourself, this is what I am. I'm a solution provider. Gain that confidence and go do the call. No, for me, I tell people now, because I'm so confident. Now, confident does not mean I will not get a no. I'm so confident about my ability to sell. I'm so confident about the fact that I will get a sale that it does not occur to me that people will not buy my product. So when I enter a company, even if they're aggressive, and some people can be really very aggressive, I just smile because I know that at the end of this session, you will buy my product. You do not have a choice. And why is that confidence? The confidence is not just built because I've reinforced myself. The confidence is also there because I understand my product. I understand that they have a problem. Sometimes they do not understand the problem they have. My job is to show them the problem they have and then to take that to the solution that I'm providing for them and to show them that my solution is the better of the solutions that is available in the market. And that is my job. And that is what gives me confidence. So now that takes me to the next one. I said your first number one tool is your mind. Your second tool is your knowledge. Now, and that is the problem with a lot of salespeople. There are people in this room who have been selling real estate for a while. Let's say you are selling real estate in Ikeja, and you do not have the knowledge of the real estate market in Ikeja. You don't even know the project that is beside the project you are selling. You don't know the prices around or within that same area. You don't know who the customer is. Knowledge is number one tool. So what do you need to do? Because knowledge will breed confidence. When you know, you have confidence. When you know, how many of us have gone into exam hall, and then you know before you enter the exam that there's nothing they can set in this exam you are going to pass? I remember my physiology exam, 200 level. I had read the entire curriculum. I was certain to the point of arrogance that there's nothing they want to sell. You're really good, Shia. Thank you so much for that. There's nothing that they want to set that I will not know. So I strolled into that exam, or sat down, waiting for the question, waiting for that question. I blasted it was a fantastic exam because I was just smiling because I knew I read. And I'm sure all of us in this room, we know there's certain time that you know so much that you know that you know. And that is the point. Every salesperson, your job as a solution provider is to actually gain knowledge of your product, knowledge of competing product, knowledge of the environment, knowledge of your customer. And that is the second tool that you need: knowledge of your customer, knowledge of your product, knowledge of the environment, knowledge of competing products, and general knowledge. As a salesperson, you are a reservoir of knowledge. And you see, I go on calls with some of our salespeople, and I tell them that there's no area that you want to have a conversation with, even if you are talking about astronomy, geography, that I won't be able to contribute. Because I have taken time every day. I tell myself I must gain knowledge in one area because it will become useful. So if you're in this room and you do not read, you do not open your mind to new information every day, then you will not be a good person, a good salesperson. And that is very key. You need to read beyond just what you're selling. You need to read around what you're selling. Let me say this, for example. Do you know that if you come to me and I am able to advise you even beyond what you're asking, your confidence in my ability grows, even if I do not have the ability. And that is the place of knowledge. So part of what I need you to write down, thank you so much, Katrina, again. Part of what I need you to write down today is to make a commitment to yourself to pursue knowledge. And how do you pursue knowledge? Dedicate at least 30 minutes to reading or to watching a video. And I will recommend, for a start, for those of us who are not used to, Jim Rohn is a very fantastic person to just listen and read widely. Let me not even recommend any particular person. Just pick sales-related topic, anything, but expand your mind. Knowledge is your second tool. And what knowledge does for you, it allows you to profile solution that is beyond the product you are selling alone. Now, your third tool is this: your ability to listen. And this is where a lot of salespeople miss it. We're talking about building a 100 million sales agency. I've spent a chunk of our time. I think because of our time, I'm just going to let's just skip the introductory part so that I don't take so much of our time. Your ability to listen is your third tool. Now, this is what I would say about your ability to listen. About your ability to listen. Now, I'm going to use the example of the doctor I used earlier. If you come into my consulting room, and I need your comment this time around, I want to create a scenario for you. You come into my consulting room, and then immediately you enter my consulting room. I look at you and I said, I'm Dr. Olufemi. I trained as a gynecologist. I'm a consultant orthopedic surgeon. I also had a master's in public health. I've been in academics for these years. I operated on the King of Dubai. I operated on the President of Nigeria. I'm one of the best surgeons that is. I also studied internal medicine, so I'm a cardiologist, by the way. And you know that everything I'm telling you is true. And then I said I continued to talk about myself for 15 minutes. At the end of 15 minutes, I now tell you that, let me use the example of somebody in the room. And I'll say, Runke, I've said so many things. And I just say, Runke, take your prescription, go and buy this drug and use it. I did not allow you to say what is wrong with you. I did not even ask you to say, look, what, I have a headache. I just gave you a drug. How many of you would jump out of that room and never come back? You understand? Now, that is the problem. that a lot of salespeople do. I've seen salespeople who will call me on the phone. I won't even collect the product. And that is what we do. That is what a lot of us do. You would take your phone, you will call a client, you would run through the product. My name is this, I'm calling from this company. We're selling land in this particular place. The land is C of O, he has title, is the best of land, he's dry, he has this, he has that, and then you continue on and on. And then, so when would you like to come for inspection? Now, if you will not take the doctor's prescription, if he has not listened to you, why do you want that client to take your prescription? Remember, I said you're a solution provider, to take your prescription when you do not even understand the problem. So your job as a salesperson, number 3 tool is your ability to listen. You should ask more of question every time. You should ask yourself, why do you want to buy this product? What do you need this product to? And let me cite an example that I use. I had a woman who was at retirement who said, look, I'm going to get gratuity of 20 million or 30 million at that time, and I want to use it to buy land. And I sat down and said, look, what exactly do you need now? The woman said, well, that I'm not earning anything. I just need something that can, continue to generate. She wanted to buy land from me, but what she needed, our problem was not just investment. Our problem was investment that can continue to generate the problem is you needed an asset that will continue to generate cash for her. So I said, look, I just need something that can keep generating. And then I told her, look, if that is what you need, then land is not what you should buy, because a land would hold your money. Yes, it can appreciate, but you won't be able to sell it every month. So you need something that can continue to generate cash flow. And then she said, okay, you are building something in this place, can I buy? I said, no, that will not be appropriate, because it's going to take us so length of time to build this one. That means that for like 18 months, you will not be able to generate cash. And I said, so what do you think I should do? And I said, I think you want to put your money in maybe a fixed deposit, or in a lump sum annuity kind of investment, or maybe you go and buy federal government bond. And they said, do you sell? I said, no, we don't, but that is what you need. She invested that money with Leadway. And now, please follow me. When she invested that money with Leadway, every month she was getting about 250K or 300K every month. And then we met 3 months later. She came to me and said, look, thank you so much for this advice. At least I know that there's something coming in every month. She now said, custom. Oh, sorry, so I don't give too much detail. He said, the organization where I work, they want to give me another 30 this time around. Because I've already covered my need, my daily need, I would love to invest this money in this particular property you're selling. And then I still ask her pertinent question. You understand? Now, what do you think? If I just push that initial sales and I sold it to her, and then she's stranded and she has paid and she's telling me, look, I want to sell my land and I'm not able to sell it at that time, do you think she will come back to me again? Well, because I was able to understand what the challenge is and provide the solution that she needed, she was confident enough to come back when she had a bit more cash to buy. For life, she probably will consult me first. And that is the position you want to take as a salesperson. Do not assume you know until you have asked the exhaustive question. In fact, it is the person that asks the most questions that wins. So please, this skill, just make sure that every time you're on a sales call, you are asking the question. Unfortunately, because of our time, I won't be able to we're still going to have sessions that we just talk about how do you prospect. When you're on the phone with your client, how do you say, what do you say, how do you question, and what is the way to go about it? We're still going to do that. So your ability to listen is the third tool that you need. Now, we've taken much more than the time that we should have spent. So I need to stop that introductory part. I will just go straight to a small part of it. To that first, please. Catherine, please, you need to, I didn't get your question. You need to just tell me more. Can you just reiterate? Can you just come back and break it down so I understand? Well, so Antonia, I'm supposed to spend about roughly 40 minutes. Antonia, please, how many minutes have I spent?
You actually spent like 40 minutes because we didn't start on time, but I think
we didn't start on time. We started
yes.
about 8:15.
Yes.
So I think so, and with that means we're supposed to finish by 9:15.
Yes.
So so that means I have like a few minutes left. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to stop at that. The personality, the personnel of a salesperson, we're going to have a session that is exclusively dedicated just to the personnel. We're analyzing what can we do the webinar? We're going to do the webinar from how do you even generate leads to how do you talk to them? How do you close those leads? How do you get them to pay? We're going to do all those, how to run ads. So please stay tuned, stay within that group, engage within that group. You're going to be seeing this session, and it's going to be regular. It's going to be scheduled. You're going to know it upfront. Well, what I want to say is that we've not gotten to anywhere at all in what we have to share. But I would not be ending very well if I don't go on to, I said, the webinar says, how do you build a 100 million real estate sales agency? Now, for those of us in this room, when you hear the word 100 million, you look at it and ask yourself, how do I build 100 million? 100 million looks like a lot of money. But most of us don't understand that what 100 million is just a single 2-digit, 1 and about 8 zeros. Zeros means nothing. So 100 million is just one thing, your ability to set that goal. So if you're in this room and your target is to build a 100 million naira sales agency, do not think, I started by saying that confidence is what is important. First of all, you need to tell yourself, I can do 100 million. I'm not even going to use an example because I know that this man is inside the room right now. There's a young person who had approached me once. He had graduated, and he said, "I want to be a salesperson." And I told him, I have a friend of mine, a younger friend of mine, who is in school, we've had this kind of conversation. I told him, how much do you want to make in commission this year? And he said 3 million. And I said, I don't deal with failure. You cannot come here and say you want to earn 3 million naira commission. Set the target at 20. Then she said 20 is too high. I said, okay, you know what? So that you will have confidence, we're going to put it at 10 million for your first year. But the additional 10 million that you're leaving on the table, we'll add it to the next year. That means that your next year target is 30. That means next year you're going to do 40. We agreed. And I said, sir, how do I even make 10 million? Making 10 million is very simple. That is not the question. The question is, what do I need to do now that will put me on the path to 10 million? So all of us in this room, let me ask you a question, particularly for our consultant and sales, or those who are into sales of real estate. How many of you have a target on what you want to make as commission? You have that target written down. If you are there, just let me see, just raise your hand or say, I have the target. I like to say it. It's a question I'd like to ask you. It's a question I'd like to ask you. How many of you? Because I want to show us. Yeah, thank you, Tony, for raising up your hand. Yes, good. Just raise up your hand or just put it. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Because I want to make it. Yes, I have 300 million. Fantastic. Now, please just go on. I like to sell and I have a target. What is your target? If you want to share, just share. If you don't want to share, don't. Yes, I have. Thank you. Now, the challenge with goal setting. Yes, I have 100 million. Yes, I have 100 million. The challenge with goal setting is most of us know what we want to do, but we don't connect where we are with what we want to achieve. And that is the problem. That is the crux. That is what we want to solve here. The first step to, who knows? Let me ask you, what do you think the first step is to achieving your 100 million naira sales agency? Who knows that? If you can tell me, what is the first step? I want to know. I would call you here. I might even give you a gift. I might. Don't hold me to that. Who knows the first step in? What is the first step? I want to earn 100 million naira in commission. What is the first step? By the way, people are earning that. Somebody said product knowledge. Know your product. Know your product. Know your product. Writing it down. Understanding your figures. I want more. Believe you can do it. Yes. Believe you can do it. Mindset. Yes. Okay. Believe you can. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. But let's do this, having a strategy. Yes, I definitely people need and find a way to achieve it. Now, the first step to earning 100 million naira commission is to ask yourself, what is the quantity of product that I need to sell? Let's take, for example, if today, because I work in CASAFINA, if today I decide that I already have my goal, I said I want to earn 100 million naira commission. The first thing I want to ask myself is, what is the volume of the product that I need to sell? Let me use the land that we're selling. I ask myself, I want to earn 100 million. My commission is 10%. For me to get 100 million, that means I must have sold 1 billion. Am I correct? That's 10% of 1 billion is 100 million. So if my target is 100 million, I know that I need to sell land worth 1 billion. That is your first step. First of all, identify what you need to do. Once you can quantify what you need to do, you have started to win. Now, a lot of people, do you know that when you're in problems sometimes, one of the challenges you have is because you don't even know where to start. Has it happened to you before? That there's a problem, you don't even know where to start. And then people are depressed and people ask you, how do you want to do this? You say, I don't know. That is the challenge. The moment you ask yourself, where do I start from? And you can identify where to start, you have actually won. That is number one thing. So your first step as a salesperson, sorry about that, is to identify what is the quantity of product that I need to move. I assume you understand who you are as a salesperson. You understand the tools you need. You understand the problem. You know that your product is a solution. So I'm going to use myself. If I want to set a target of 100 million for myself, I know that I need to sell, and I know that the commission on the land for me will be 10%. I know I need to sell 1 billion naira worth of land in Vedura. Now, please follow me so that you can see how I'm breaking it down. Now, I know, and I ask myself, how much is one plot of Vedura? One plot of Vedura is about 30 million at launch. Now, so what I know is I need to sell 33 to 34 plots of land. Now, are you following me, guys? I need you to follow me, please. First of all, I identified I need to sell 1 billion at 10% commission to get my 100 million. And I ask myself, how much is a unit of Vedura? A unit of Vedura is 30 million. So I know that I need to sell minimum of 34 plots. That would give me about 1 billion thereabout, or slightly above 1 billion. So now I understand what I need to do. Now, the second or the third question I need to now ask myself is, how do I go about selling 33 plots? Now, when I started this lesson, I told us that there's something called conversion rate. Now, conversion rate means that how many people you need to speak with for you to get one person that will buy from you. The average person will probably do between 50 to 100 people for you to be able to sell one product. I'm just using 1% conversion rate. That means for every 100, you would sell one. So I know that I need to sell 34 plots of land. And I know that I need to speak with 100 to get at least one. Sometimes you can be luckier and get with smaller number. So I know that I need to sell 34. I need to speak with 100 to get one. So I need to speak with 3,400 people for me to hit my target of 34 plots. Please, I don't know if you are following me. I need you to, because the house is quiet now. I need you to say, I'm following, I'm getting you, because this is what is important. This is how to build your 100 million naira agency. Please tell me you are following me. Tell me you can hear me. I need you to be there. I need you to let me know that you understand where I'm going. Now, so I've set my goal to say, look, I want to sell 34 plots. I need to speak 100 to get one. So I'm quickly calling the people I need to call so that I can get all the no's for me to get to the yes. Because you will go through the no's before you get to that yes. So I know that I need to speak with 3,400 people. Now, if you look at it, 3,400 can look like massive. It is not. If I now decide to say, look, I want to divide the 3,400 people by 360 days. Let's use all the days of the week for ease of calculation. What it means is I need to set my target every day that I sell. I want to call 10 people. I want to speak with 10 people or more. Minimum I will speak with is 10 people every day for me to actually achieve my target. Now, I can guarantee you that you won't even speak with that number before you get people that want to buy. Because once you get one person that wants to buy, yes, you still have 10 people to call. The one person that buys, you see, birds of like feather flock together. The one person that buy would have friends that would also want to buy. Just like if you go to a restaurant today and the food is very good, once you get out of that restaurant, you tell your friend, look, I went to a restaurant, man, the meal was fantastic. The restaurant is located in so place. Your friends will go there, and that is how it will catch fire. So you already know that you see how we started from 100 million. So you know the volume of products you need to push. You know the price per unit. You know how many people you need to call based on your conversion rate. And then you know that every day, if you've not done 10 calls, you cannot sleep because you need to get your target. So every day that you wake up, you know you need to do 10 calls. And that is how to build your agency. Anything that will not help you to achieve that 10, it is not for you to do. Leave it aside. And once you keep doing that, I can guarantee you that you get your 34 plot. And that is how to build. Now, is what I've said is just to give you a foundation that you can build on. Because beyond just calling, you need to now ask yourself, where do I get the 10 people that will buy from me? That is the case of another, that's a webinar for another day. How do you get them? We won't be able to tackle it because I know that I've already overshot my time by like 2 or 3 minutes. What of the case of instrumental payment? You sit down and ask yourself, how much of this part will be accruable to me this year? It helps you to scale up the number of people you need to call. And then even when you are calling, you are looking for people who will do outright payment, 3 installment, 4 installment within the time period you're talking about. So when you are engaging with your client, you already know what you want to achieve. You can see that it might look very difficult, but once you break it down, and if you look at everybody in this room, I can guarantee that there's nobody that will say, I cannot. If you have the lead, you know what I told you, we're going to talk about how do you find that lead? How do we get them? Yes, we're going to talk about that. Once you have the lead, there's nobody in this room that will tell me that they cannot make 10 calls in a day. And if you can consistently do that, you will achieve your target. You will achieve your target. Now, the question is this: do you have the discipline to achieve your target, to take those calls? And it's not about whether you feel like or not. You need to do what you need to do. You know, like I said, this is not a church, but I like to use stories from different sources. A story I want to tell us today is, you see, I was listening to, I can't remember the speaker now, and they used an analogy that a lot of us, we say that we work Monday to Friday, and then that we want to rest on Saturday or rest on Sunday. And when people ask us, how can you be resting on Sunday? You said, is the Lord, God rested on the 7th day. And then I laugh, in Spanish. And he asked a question. Did you read the verses before God rested on the 7th day? God created heaven and the earth, and he rested on the 7th day. What have you created that you are resting? If you have not hit your target of 10 per day, 60 to 70, then you cannot say you are resting. You must do the work before you get the rest. So, so please, let's be very careful when we're saying we're resting. Sarah is laughing. Yeah, it's true. You see, if the God that created all of us did the work and then rested on the 7th day after he has finished the work, then how can you be resting when you have not done your 70 call? If that is your target, you cannot rest. So every day, before you say you want to go and rest, please make sure you've achieved that. If you can consistently follow this, I can guarantee you that you will get your 100 million. There's no way that you won't get it, because sales is a game of number. Once you hit your number, you will get your numbers. You hit your numbers, you will get the number you want in your bank account. And that is guaranteed. Sales is a marathon. You need to do what you need to do to achieve what you want to achieve. And you will call whether you feel like or not. Let me tell you, there are times that I've set target that I want to call 12 people. And then, one of those days when you wake up and then you don't even feel like calling anybody, you just want to keep quiet. Even if your friend in the house said this, you just like, please, you just want to be alone. But once you are done with being alone, you are alone with your phone. You will do the 10 calls that you need to do. And after that, you can get back into depression. And then once you need to come, hello, my name is this, I got your number from so person. I like to, are you free to have the conversation? You laugh. And then once you have done with all those ones, you go back and enter the depression again. Then you wake up the next morning, do your call and going to do whatever you want to do. So that is your job as a salesperson, eating your numbers so that you can get your number. And that is how you set your goal. We've tried to put too many things into the webinar today. We're going to be having more sessions. We're going to be breaking it down. We're going to be going very practical. I'm going to be sending you a workbook that you will fill and you will bring to this session we're going to have. Your workbook. And let me say this. Says they go back to your depression point. Let me quickly say this, that at least for now, virtually all our sessions are going to be free. Even the workbook, we're going to be sending copies to you so you can do work before you come into the class. Part of what I wanted to achieve with this session is to have a tribe of salespeople that are doing splendidly well. And are doing splendidly well, and then that we can share, we can learn, and then we can pay it forward. So we're going to be sending all that. It's going to be detailed. Somebody asked a question that is election affecting our sale? I'm going to answer that. And let me say this, that there's no, in life is up and down. Now, the amazing thing that I've discovered is that people are shocked when there's a problem. Meanwhile, we know that problem is part of life. Now, do you know that from 2019, we knew that there was going to be election this year. And we also knew that it was going to be contentious. Yes, sometimes things shock us, but we need to factor it into our mind that a shocker is coming. I read somewhere, it said that every ship has a sail. That cloth that is on a mast. Now, the purpose of the sail, and then why do you build your ship to be strong? You build your ship to be strong when you are getting into the water, not because you anticipate a storm, but so that in case the storm comes, you'll be able to weather. What is the summary of what I'm saying? Election is just one event. It does not change the actual sales. When somebody told me that there's no money in circulation, I asked a very simple question. And I said, because we wanted to fix the price of one of our properties. And I said, the price will be 300 million. And the person asked me, there's no money in circulation. So how do you want to sell that kind of property? And I asked a simple question. If we had sold it 5 years ago, do you think it would have worked? He said yes, because there was money in circulation then. And then I asked a very simple question. Have you seen where CBN piled a huge pile of cash and started burning it? They said no. Was there a time that they took shipload of currency and dropped it into a river? He said no. So the cash that they had before, where did it go? Did it disappear? I said no. Did God take it? He said no. So the cash is somewhere. Your job as a salesperson is to look for where that money is and go to sell your product there. Maybe where you thought it was before, it has left that place. And that's why it's called currency. It flows. It's not static. So what you need to do is to find out the new location of that cash and align it with your product. And that is the way to think. Please do not ever think that there's no money in this country. There's absolutely significant and life-changing wealth that is available to you if you know where to look. And my prayer, is that we will know where to look. So how to prospect is one of those things that we're going to take. I'd like to thank you for staying the course. We've kept that number. I think we've spent roughly 1 hour, even though I was supposed to spend just about 40 minutes. This is the introduction to Real Estate Sales Academy. This is just an introduction to Real Estate Sales Academy. So if you want to actually build your agency, you want to actually learn more, you want to be part of this. And let me say this. Yes, we want you to work with us. We want you to also sell our product. But the point of this session is not just to get you to sell our product. It's to get you equipped to be able to sell any product you want to sell, to be liberated, so that anywhere you are, you can virtually create your own economy, to understand what you need to do to be a master salesperson, and then to go empower other people. That is what, if you look at what our mission is, we're empowering people. You see, through one of the three ways we empower people is providing information, wealth creation information. That is what we are all about. And this is part of the mandate that we're delivering. So thank you so much for taking the time to be part of this session. I need a favor. I need a favor from all of you. My colleague Olajide would post our YouTube channel now. I just need you to subscribe. That is one way, like I said, we plan to make it free. So one way you can pay me back and pay us back is by just clicking to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be posting a lot of videos on that YouTube channel at interval. And then some of our sessions that we have is going to be recorded on the YouTube channel. So please kindly do that for us. That way, you've also added value to us. I like to take your questions for some of us. If you have questions right now, I'd like to take your question. Thank you, Catherine. You've been one of the major pillars of this session, Catherine. I'll make it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your energy. Thank you, Oluwole. I hope this session has been of value to you. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to spend it with us. And then to appreciate you all. And also say, if you have clients that wants to buy, we're still in the process of, thank you, Sarah. We're still in the process of selling land and houses. So I would like to yield the floor right now to the host of the show. And then if you have questions, I'd like you to just put it forward. Antonia, are you there?
Yes,
yeah, please, the floor is yours. Thank you so much. I would like to welcome your question. I would like to welcome your question. I have to take your question now.
Thank you so much, sir.
Is there any reason why you're laughing at that now?
Seriously, if left for me, I would want you to continue. But
you what?
I said left for me, I would still want you to
continue. We're still going to have sessions so that people will not run away. There's this joke that once you begin to talk, people listen, people are with you. Once you get to a certain time, people are away from you. But once you exceed a certain length of time, people are against you. You understand? I know that for some of us in this room, have you gone to a wedding and then you are praying that the person that is speaking should just shut up so that you can go do stuff with your life? I know it's happened before. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. Please, if you have any questions, kindly drop it, see if we can still take it before we round up for today. Okay, so after this section, would want the WhatsApp group to be very interactive. If you have any questions, if you have anything to say, kindly drop it there. And we'll also be dropping some of our products that we have, so you can get your clients to get some of our products. So if you have any questions, like my boss said, we'll be dropping the worksheet and
sorry to cut you.
Okay.
The questions coming in. How to prospect. I'm not sure we can finish that. That is an entire webinar in itself. So maybe we're going to reserve that question. How to prospect. We're going to reserve that for that particular webinar. So Catherine, please, let's reserve it. And then please, can we have details of your product in the chat room, flyers, pictures, FAQ, and write-up. So what we're going to do, we're going to send the link to join CASAFINA Realtors Network. Please, we're going to be officially inaugurating the network in a few weeks. We're going to be providing a platform where you can see all those flyers. You can have your own account, where you're going to get your commission, where you're going to get all the details you need, where you can interact with us. So we'll post it. So please, let's post, for those who want to more details, please, let's post the link to join the Realtors Network. And then, yes, so that we can join, and then we'll post all the information that is needed. My question is about the confidence or mindset of sales, but safety of this estate. I have clients who are afraid of buying properties in Lagos. How can these people be convinced? First of all, as salesperson, you need to also understand the meaning of due diligence, and that's one of the webinars we're going to take, how to conduct due diligence. So once you go through the due diligence process and you're sure that the documentation is complete, is perfect, you would have the confidence to tell your clients that, look, this is what I've done, this is due diligence I've done, and then it's easier to convince your client. So you need to understand how to do due diligence in itself. So that's one. As about the safety, documentation is number one. How does one build serious clientele? That then sometimes there are so many products out there. Unfortunately, that is where we are. There's so much product out there. So part of what we need to learn is, how do you stand out? This is what I tell salespeople. You can't sell everything. You need to decide the product you want to sell. And then how do you need to segment your market. You need to ask yourself, who do you want to attend to? Now, one of the things we've done as a company is to ask ourselves, who do we want to attend to? We have defined exactly the kind of customers that we want to serve. So that will help you to narrow down. So once you know that, if you decide that the customers I want to serve are people who are billionaires, what it means is that you cannot be selling a property in Muwe unless you are selling, somebody wants to buy an entire hundreds of acres. You understand what I mean? So you know that for most of these people, they're going to be buying luxury products from you. You understand? So the first thing is to decide, what kind of customer do you want? If you want to sell to the base of the pyramid, you're looking at mass market. So you know that the product you will sell are mass market related product. So you need to say now, Konda, and say, look, what are those products that is a mass market? And then if you say, look, I want to focus on Lagos only, that also narrows it down, the number of products you will sell. And then you can keep using your filtering criteria until you get, this is exactly who I want to serve. Once you have that, you can now decide, this is the product I would offer to them. Part of when you're prospecting, that is part of what you're going to discuss. How do you identify who your customers are? Who is your customer? Now, one of the things you should do as a salesperson is to write down the feature, the attribute of your customer, how old they are, what is their purchasing power, where do they live, where do they like to live, and so on and so forth. It will help you to clarify that. I hope that is useful. Please highlight some of the properties available for sales from CASAFINA. We're going to do that in the chat room. So please post the link to the WhatsApp group. I think it's somewhere there. So just join. You'll be seeing all the product that we have to offer. My question is about getting client. What is the name of our teacher? Currently, my name is Sheyi. Sheyi is my name. I think I've answered. I can hear you. Good evening. Thank you so much. I can hear you. I can hear you. I think by and large, I've answered all the questions. Is there any other question I've not answered? My question is about getting clients, prospecting. We're going to do that also. Thank you so much for your time. Please post again the link to the WhatsApp group. I think we've posted it before.
Okay.
Let's keep posting it. This is where I would like to say thank you to everyone. I'll hand over to Antonia. She's already asking me to get out of the room so that we can close this particular session. Thank you so much, Nat, for that. I'm passionate about sales, and I believe absolutely sales has changed my life. It has, brought me to where I am. I'm still very far from where I hope to be, but I will sell my way to the top. And that is what I'd like all of us to do. Tell yourself, I'm going to sell my way to the top. Thank you so much. Thank you. And have a great time, please.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks everyone for hanging out, for hanging with us till this time. And we also want to apologize for extending the time to this time. Next time we'll be dropping more details on the WhatsApp group. I've also dropped the link for the WhatsApp group so you can join. But if you're unable to join, please just drop your phone number so we can add you to the group. But the link is there, and you can also use that link to invite maybe your friends, your family members that you think should be here. Okay, Joy. Okay, Joy, I'll add you to the group. I have your contact now. I will add you to the group after the webinar. Thank you all so much. Really appreciate your time, and I'm sure we all got value for the time spent here today. So we'll be doing so much of this, and we'll be dropping the date and the link for subsequent webinar on the group chat. So please try to join. Okay, Emmanuel. Okay, I will get your contact now so I can add it to the group. So we need to round up now. Okay. Okay, so I have so many numbers here. If you don't mind, I would like you to use the link that I dropped to join to make it easy, please. So I'll just I'll drop the link again now. I'll drop the link again now. So you can
if you're in this
join.
room, please kindly also, if you're in this room, kindly just go drop into that group, into our WhatsApp chat group. Once you get there, tell them how much value you got today, so that next time they will not miss it. Please kindly just go drop it. Let's unfortunately, we may not be providing the link to the webinar. Please go drop it. Tell them how much they missed, and then so that next time they won't miss it. Thank you.
Okay, to make it easy again, let me just drop my number here. Please reach out to me so I would add you to the group. Okay, that's my number. Please reach out to me and I would add you to the group. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll be closing this section now. Thank you. Have a great night's rest, and have a great week ahead. Thank you so much. Bye.